What's up, everybody? Jim Flanagan here for the Flan Fan Show. I hope everybody had a great Halloween here, but it's time for Season 17. We're coming off the Season 17 draft, and as Drug Monkey would say, possibly the best draft in 239 history. Now, he was referring to Float's picks, but you could say either way. You know what? Let's take a look here. We're going to break it down here. Take a look here on all the 12 teams here for Season 17. Who went where and for how much?
What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Cortez, and we're back for the Season 17 breakdown of post-draft. We're going to be talking about the full teams. We're going to be talking about who may be a dollar menu item, the most paid, the most underpaid, all those things in between. Let's break it right down right now with arguably, in my opinion, the number one team in the Season 17 draft and arguably one of the best drafts in all of 239 history. We have Float's team known as the Simps. You have Float as the captain. Of course, you got Wizzy War. There's going to be 9 bods part-time. Yes, there was an issue with captains drafting and not knowing how to use a keyboard. Y'all make fun of me and my typewriter. Well, maybe I could give you a lesson or two next time we're all hanging out. But 9 bods for part-time Wizzy, absolute steal. You got the Lime, 25 bods full-time as a goalie. That's great. Finney, 16 bods part-time. I think he went for a little bit more than I would pay part-time for Finney, but because of the amount of bods that everybody on this roster that was part-time went for, it doesn't even matter. It works out. Pot Shot, don't know a lot about him. You got Croydon Knight, 8 bods part-time. Another guy, just like Wizzy, should have went for a lot more. Though he'll be a force to be reckoned with. Rondon at 11, same thing as Wizzy and Croydon Knight. Way too low for their value. So again, you now have 3 players on your roster that would absolutely be over 30 bods, if not to mid to high 30 bods right away, all on your roster. And you have them for not even the value of 30 bods. So that's obviously amazing. And then you have Duck Butter, that's part-time, Knife in Your Gut, and Dangles. I think the argument is behind this team is we have no idea realistically what lineup is going to be what. Are there going to be nights that there are scheduling issues? But if this team can have a full lineup available each night that they play, no team should beat them in any 7-game series in 239 this season. On to the next team, we have the Crosby Niels for Malkin team name. Kind of creative. I get it. Whatever. Flaming Dwagon. Love the name. We'll never not love it. We got Flaming Dwagon as the captain. We got B Crips at 30 bods full-time in net. Pogs at 18 bods full-time at defense. I'm going to say this name wrong, but it might be Levians or Levans or just Levans instead. I don't know exactly how to say it. 40 bods. I don't know anything about the guy. I don't know what position he's playing. I don't have a master draft sheet popped open. I'm not even in this season. I'm just doing this because Flanny's a solid guy, and I know you guys want the content and want to hear your names brought up, so I'm here to do it. But 40 bods, a name I don't know with a guy I've never heard of. Hopefully he lives up to the 40 bods. Flaming Dragon has to have seen something that must be worth that. So we're going to have to see if that can be done, because Pogs at 18 bods full-time at defense is a great value in my opinion. B Crips at 30 bods is a solid steal in net. And now hopefully behind that you have Panarantino, Nicky Pats, and Yin. I think Yin's going to be left D more than likely unless he's the extra, which I'm not entirely sure of. But this is going to be a team that if B Crips can hold it down in the back end and they can find some way to get some offense, then this is a team that should be able to somewhat compete. At a playoff level, I'm not entirely sure, but never count on a team that has B Crips in net. Moving on to the next team, we have the Dailies Wet Noodles. Or whatever. Yambag, okay, fair enough. Yambag's captain, SBDR, 42 bods full-time. I believe SBDR is left wing. Great, solid guy. Don't know if I would have necessarily went to 42, but in an auction draft, you need to make sure that you have a forward that can carry your offense, and SBDR is that guy. And I think that for 42 bods with the team he has is a good amount to spend. With Bear to Just, I believe that is going to be a guy who's full-time. I might not believe he's full-time. He is full-time, but I'm not sure if he's defense. I think he is. I think he's looking to be Yambag's partner at defense. And then you have Ian the Breen, who will more than likely be playing center, with Notorious Figo at right wing. With this forward lineup, you're obviously hoping that SBDR creates the play and buries the puck. You're hoping that Ian could do a solid two-way job, which he should be able to do. And then you have Figo on the right side, who just needs to be able to finish when the time comes. 17 bods for Figo is great. Ian for 14 bods. I feel with his ability of two-way center is maybe a little bit higher for his bods, but if he's going to be there to produce offensively wise, then I would 100% say he needs to go for more. But we'll see when the time comes. Tomahawk full-time goalie at 14 bods. Tomahawk's been playing the game a lot lately. And when Tomahawk's on, he's one of the best goalies in 239, if not one of the better goalies in all of the NHL, EA, SHL community. So if Tommy can kind of bring it forward and be there for his team, it'd be great. BC Renton, Quantanium. I believe there's been some roster moves. So Quantanium I don't believe is there anymore. I'll have to check. But BC Renton, Quantanium, if they even both are there, both part-time, great guys to have as kind of filler guys in your roster. They're in the chats. They're good, positive guys. They'll be great guys for the team. I do believe that this team has a chance of being a playoff team, but SBDR is going to have a gigantic backpack, and everybody's going to have to hop in it. Move on to the next team. We have the Niagara Ice Frogs. I like this name because it's an actual team name, and I like that idea. So Young Buffalo coming in at captain, arguably one of the better drafts as well this season. Young Buff at captain, Sauce Walker 38 bods for full-time. Geinman, I believe is how you say his name or whatever, 5 bods full-time. Hall of Fame, 32 bods full-time. Blue Line King, 6 bods part-time. Butcherson, 3 bods full-time. Disnub, I don't know enough about him. I heard he's a pretty solid rookie. Full-time, 1 bod, dollar menu. Hugh Laurie, 15 bods part-time. Obviously, I know that Hugh was like one towards the end of the draft, and Yam just kind of bit it up just to bit him up. He was obviously at this point not worth 15 bods part-time, let alone full-time. But he was a great guy. He'll be there if you want him there. He's a great guy to have in chats, too. I think this is going to be a solid team. I think there's going to be offense. I think there's defense. And I think there's goaltending. It's kind of funny that Blue Line King being your extra at a part-time who might not crack the roster in any spot is an argument to say that they got a solid team. And the one place you can kind of go in at is goalie. And it's kind of pointless to sub in and sub out your goalie if your goalie plays well. So it's going to be a solid team, nonetheless. I think that this is going to be an absolute playoff team, 100%. The next team we look at is the Cobra Kai Puckers Strike First. Hate the team name, by the way. Don't think it's good. Odd Guy, love you, but screw your team name. All right, Odd Guy at captain. We have Brick City, 7 bods full-time going in net. We have Cougar Hunter at 26 bods full-time. Bomber, 31 bods full-time. C-Dub at 23 bods part-time. Gala, or Gala, however you say his name, at 2 bods full-time. Roman, 1 bod part-time. And Cobb at 7 bods full-time. I believe I heard some good things about Cobb. Somebody could inform me, but Bomber I've heard is really solid. Cougar Hunter, I played a few games with him myself. Really positive guy in the party and a great left defenseman. Odd Guy, of course, is another solid player, whether he's going to be playing right wing or right D. Obviously, I think he's a better defenseman than he is a forward, but maybe this is the season we see him come alive at forward. Brick City going into net, finally for once. We have C-Dub, who I believe is the most valued player in the draft, technically at 46 bods if he was full-time with this 23 bod part-time evaluation. C-Dub is obviously a great utility player on your team. Not only is he a top 5 player in 239, but he's a utility guy in the sense he can play center, left wing, left D. Hell, he can play right D and right wing. You shouldn't put him there, but he can, and he can play it exceptionally well. Plus, he's on to play all the time. Great guy. I think this is a team that has a chance to play well. It's all going to come down to how Brick plays as a goalie, and we can talk more about that a little bit later. But I think this team should be a playoff team. Next team we look at is we look at the high expectations with Swiss World as a captain. Superstar at 19 bods. You have Epic at 27 bods. It's Mox 16. Marty McFly 22. Sniper at 1. And Rob at 11. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know a lot about It's Mox. I've seen some things about Superstar. Marty McFly, I love him. Hut Master and Hut Hero himself. 22 bods. I believe he'll be playing defense. I think that's pretty solid. Sniper at 1 bod, I think, is a steal. Rob, don't know a lot about him. But this team right here is going to be my wild card team in the sense of I don't know enough about them. I really don't. Epic, I think, at 27 bods is on the high-end range of how much his bods are worth. But for the team that they're going to have molded, I think this is really going to work. And I think that's actually a really good deal for Epic. And I think it's a really good deal for the team. So we'll have to see where this is going. But I got that wild card expectation for high expectations. So we'll see where this team is going to go for season 17. All right, next team we look at is the Orange Sus. Apparently, we're going to play on the Among Us names. Pale Poner trying to figure out a way to finally get the belt under his name as a captain. Again, Pale Poner, solid guy. Great guy to have in your team. A utility captain who is a better talent player in the league. He's a guy who can play center great. He can play right wing if need be. He can play right D. He can play goalie. Wherever he needs to be on his team, he can play it. Sir Puffington's going to go in net, 18 bods. I feel this might be a little on the higher end for Puffington, but he's got something to prove this season. Mr. Anderson, 41 bods, another guy, another top 5 player in the league. I think he's absolutely worth the bottom out, especially when I was saying earlier for Yambag with SBDR, it's really going to come down to the team that you can kind of mold around the player you get and how the kind of the talent and whatnot you're paying for. So Mr. Anderson for 41 bods, there's a guy who could play left wing center, right wing lefty, right D goalie. He can play any one of those positions, and he's elite at any one of them. So absolute valued pick at Mr. Anderson. Ozzy at 30 bods. I think Ozzy's a great player, and I think this game is really going to excel with his talents of what he has in NHL. But I think for 30 bods in a prove-it season, I think 30 is too high. I do believe Pale was in a bidding war for Ozzy, which is why he went up a little higher. But I think 30 works with the way the rest of this team molded itself. So I think that's going to work. Ozzy at right wing, Pale at center, and I believe Nick at left wing. You're going to have Mr. Anderson at right D, whoever's going to be at left D, who might be this Trubin solo guy, and then, Sir Puffington in net. So I think this is a team that if they get the right chemistry down and they can collect and connect on those passes and really find a way to incorporate Anderson into the offense a little bit more, this is a team that should have success and should see the playoffs. Looking on down now to the Boondock Saints. Master Shotgun. Okay, first off, don't like the team name. Whatever. Master Shotgun, I love you, but I hate you. So we look at the team, D-Mart. Never can go wrong picking up D-Mart. Never can go wrong. 41 bods, full-time, but D-Mart will be running it from the back end on right defense. Surprised me at 36 bods full-time. I believe he's like the leading goal scorer in all of 239 without looking at the website. I could be wrong. But 36 bods for surprise me. Again, cannot go wrong. You have your whole right side of the ice being probably one of the most dominated right side of the ice pairs since you've seen either Regretski's and D-Mart on the same side or things like that. You look at it, you got Drug Monkey, one of the best defensive players in the league playing center, who will now be a two-way center for this team, which will be great. 16 bods, absolute steal in the sense of you absolutely have D-Mart already, who can play this offensive role at right D, and Drug can always drop back. You have Phoenix Rising. Phoenix, absolute great guy. I think this is going to have to be a comeback season for him. I think he's going to have to get his opportunity to prove that he should be on a starting roster and really find that talent, and I think he's going to have it. And I think this is going to be the season that he has to show it. John Monkey, full-time, 1 bod. Crazy Yeti Killer, 1 bod, full-time. Both of them really solid guys, great guys to have on your team. I think they're going to be good utility guys to kind of fill in where they need to be filled in, or if they replace somebody during a series, or they're just, someone's missing the series and they need to play. I think this will be a solid team. When I say that, I think the left side of the ice on this team is very, very weak. There's going to be, they're going to have to figure out how to get the puck up the right side of the ice, find offense and score, and stop every team from pushing on their left side of the ice and scoring on them. Now, you have Drug Monkey and D-Mart being your two core people in your defensive triangle. I think you're going to see good success. It's really going to come down to whoever is playing goalie, and that's Shotgun. And Shotgun's going to have to show up, and he's going to have to keep the puck out of the net so the offense has a chance. Next team we got now is we have those guys with Cabaret. Sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. You got Cabaret, Anthrax, Power Kill, K-Dog, Tricky, Sparky, and McGilla. Anthrax and Power Kill, Cabaret, and K-Dog all together, all for the bottom outs that they're at. Solid team. I think it's worth it. I think every guy you could look at and say, well, you might be worth the 37 bods instead of you, or you might be worth the 27 instead of you. I think that this whole team works, and I think this is going to be a team that has the talent. It's all going to come down to how Shock does in net and how the left D spot, which I think the team is solid enough. Regardless, I think the team's going to do great. I think they're going to be a playoff contending team, and I think they're going to have a chance to kind of go deep in this season. So look out for them because they're going to put up goals. They just need to find a way to make sure that they're definitely staying out of their net. Next team we have was Washed with Hergy. You have Hergy, Bills, Sober Enough, Rapid Calf, Mr. Tough, Beer Captain, and Ace Soul. This is another wild card team for me. I feel this is going to be a team that makes it right in the middle of the pack into playoffs, if not just miss it. Or you never know. A team like this, where you have Sober, Bills, and Hergy, and you have Rapid Calf, Mr. Tough. Like, you have a talented roster in the sense of one guy might not be the guy, but they are all a guy that could fit into the formula. And when you have teams like that, they're normally underappreciated and not looked at to be serious when going into that matchup. And if you lose one game to these guys, you're already behind in the series, of course. And this is a team that can absolutely run away with the series if you let them have it. So I really, when I say wild card team, I think they're a team that can absolutely finish in the top 5 if you don't take them serious when you go to play them. If not, and everybody's on their A game, I think this is a team that's just going to make the cut into playoffs. I think this is a team that has the possibilities to do it, but it's going to be very crucial on how well the chemistry works on the squad. Next team we have Johnny Kling's Classic Hits. Young Kelch, I absolutely hate you. Great team name. Love you. Just kidding. Get the red cape. We got Talk Zach. It's a.k.a. Schwartz. I'm taking Schwartz, as Ability would say. Anyway, 34 bods for Schwartz. If he's on his A game, absolute great value for him. I think that's going to be a great pick for Kelce as somebody who can carry his offense. X88, X Kane, I've heard great things about. Another guy who's going to help carry that offense and be up there with Schwartz. Again, it's going to come down to the chemistry of those two. Dom Silva, 8 bods part-time, absolute steal. Great. Civic Poe, 16 bods part-time. Don't know a lot about him. Things I've heard are pretty solid. I'm going to say maybe on the little higher end, but again, for how much you just got Dom for, don't even worry about it. Next thing you got is Cool Sam. Don't know the guy at all. 1 bod. Maybe he's a steal. Maybe he's not. We'll figure that out later in the season. Agent at 2 bods part-time. Agent's a great roster guy. Great guy to have in the chats. Great guy to have in the party, especially if you're winning. If you're not, you just got to have jokes and crack jokes when you're losing. He'll be a great guy to have. He's a funny guy. Keep him going. Adrenaline, 7 bods part-time. Only 1 less than Dom Silva. I don't know a lot about him. I'm sorry. Can't really talk about him a lot. 37 in a row. Scott, great chat guy again. You better hope that he's playing this game a lot because when Scott's on, great goalie. When he's not on, you got Marine Mike as your option instead. And then you got Sensei Drop Shot. Don't know anything about him. Sorry, Sensei. I hope you get a chance to prove yourself at the 1 bod part-time. But I'm looking forward to this roster. Same thing we said about Float's team earlier. It's really going to come down to what roster is dressed that night. Will they be able to to dress the team that they want to dress that night? And if you play them in a 7-game series, what's going to happen? What's going to come down to this team is it's going to come down to defense. Their offense is going to put pucks in the net, but it's going to come down to, can their defense keep the puck out? Can their goaltending keep the puck out? And that's going to be the interesting idea. I think this is going to be anywhere from a 3rd place finish to a 6th place finish team, and I think that they are going to make the playoffs, and they are a team that can run away with it if their defense and goaltending's there. Next team to look at, and final team to look at, we have Winters coming. We have Kurdog, Mashopta, I can't ever say his name right, Naboosh, we have Dangles HD, Colin Ellie, Deathmaul, and Rage and Sign. I don't know a lot about Kurdog. If someone wants to fill me in, absolutely let me know. I want to know more about our captains. Mash, 45 bods full-time. Mash is a powerhouse offense, but he's going to put pucks in the net. He's going to create plays. 45 bods, one of the more talented players in 239, if not in a top 5 role again. I believe it's worth it, especially for the rest of the way this roster lined up. Naboosh at 25 bods. Naboosh, I go off of what I've heard, haven't played with him. I believe 25 bods is roughly right around, if not maybe a little less. But Naboosh is a solid player. I think this will work out, especially if you're playing with MASH. You have Dangles HD at 7 bods. Great. Colin Elliott at 7 bods. Great. Deathmaul at 1 bod. Don't know enough about him. Radenstein at 5 bods. This is a goalie that I think if he shows up and doesn't focus on the gifts in the Discord, he's going to have a steal of a show in this season. But if he focuses on the gifts, you might as well have made it 1 pod.
All right, those are your rosters here for Season 17. Right now, let's take a look at the leaderboards. Who was the most paid forward, defensemen, goalies, also the rookies, the part-timers, plus who was overpaid and maybe underpaid? Cortez, take it away.
Most underpaid, we have Guyman at 1. At the number 1 spot with the Niagara Ice Frogs at 5. At number 2, Dominator Silva with part-time at 8. Number 3 is John Monkey at 1. Number 4 is Dangles HD and Winners Are Coming at 7. And number 5 is Wizzy War at Sims 9. Now, I don't make the ratings. I just say him as Jim Flanagan, a.k.a. Hollywood, puts them together. I think Wizzy War would be number 1. I think Croydon Knight would be number 2. And I think Dominator Silva would be number 3. But I know we're going for the whole dynamic of let's showcase as many people as possible and try to get everybody involved, and I'm all for it. So, Guyman at 5, it is a steal. Dominator Silva at 8, absolute steal. John Monkey, a utility guy, definitely a steal at 1. Dangles HD, I'm not entirely sure about it. At 7, I think that depending on what his team is needed for can work, but I'll go with the narrative that it's underpaid. Wizzy War at 9, absolute steal as well. So those are our most underpaid people.
Yeah, I agree. As far as the rankings on here, they could be switched around a bit. Wizzy War, definitely a guy that got underpaid. I agree there. The only reason, I mean, I like Dom Silva being at number 2 above that, not because Dom Silva's a better player than Wizzy War, but this being an auction draft, Wizzy War only playing right wing this season as a part-timer. So if you're a captain that, let's say, already played the right wing spot, or already drafted a right wing, or looking to draft a right wing position, or want a guy that played full-time at that right wing spot, you're really not looking at Wizzy War. Whereas Dom Silva's guy that plays every position equally well. All 6 of them, including goalie on there, which he had on the draft sheet sign up. Going only at 8 is very, very low to me. I think he should have been a part-timer that was on every captain's list looking for a part-timer and should have won at least double digits. Maybe they don't like the guy. Maybe they don't like his hairdo. Guys he's with, the person he's with, I don't know. Geineman on here. Yes, defenseman going at 5. Geineman is very much improved as opposed to last couple seasons. Plus, the way this draft pool and the number of defensemen on the draft pool for guys that are not playing this season. You know, I'm talking about like Dalai Lama, Sea-Doo, X-Daily. Plus also players that are not playing defense like Brick, you know, like Drug Monkey. So it narrowed that down, and for Geineman to only go at 5 is pretty low.
Now I move to our most overpaid. We got number 1, K-Dog, with those guys at 29. K-Dog's got something to prove. This is a guy I don't know a lot about. You guys have been hearing me say that a lot. But K-Dog at 1 at 29 bods definitely have something to prove. If you're going for almost 30 bods and you're not a most common name in the league, especially someone like me, I haven't played in a couple seasons, but I can at least try to keep up. You got something to prove. Number 2 is Levians or Levins or however you say his name. 40 bods. If you are basically a rookie or a guy that's played in other leagues and is just coming here and you're getting paid 40 bods, you better be ready to carry the torch. You better be able to carry that Excalibur and absolutely demolish anybody that gets in your way. 40 bods, absolute something to prove. Number 3, this is the troll within the most overpaid, Brick City. Word down the grapevine is this guy didn't save or only saved 1 shot within a 6-shot game and let in 5 goals. Brick, I know you got the talent. Figure it out. Play calm, cool, collective. Hold your angles. Hold your short side. You'll be good to go. Number 4 is C-Dub at 23. I'm going to disagree with this. I think C-Dub at 23 is solid, especially for, I think we're only kind of taking this at value because Wizzy, nor Croydonite, or Dom really got up to their actual values of part-time, how much they should have been for. But compared to what Wizzy and Croydonite and them got, technically yes in that sense. But for this draft, C-Dub to at the low 20s, I think is a great choice because if you're going to pay him full-time double that, I'm fine with seeing him at 23 for part-time. Number 5, Hugh Laurie. Again, we kind of touched up on this when we were going over rosters. He was just kind of bid up because it was towards the end of the draft because people still had some bods left. Hugh at 15, yes, is overpaid. But he was a great two-way guy, a good locker room guy too, a great guy to get in the party if he does join parties and talks. I think it doesn't matter whether it's overpaid or not. The team had the bods to work with.
Yeah, I mean, K-Dog in this league, generally a defenseman, playing only forward this season, and going at that number of bod is pretty high. About the Brick situation here, you may look at 7 bods, not a lot. However, in a draft as this, where tons of the goalies went low, I mean, you're looking at Superstar, you're looking at Sir Puffington, 18, 19, and then you got Brick going at 7, generally not a goaltender, and then you had Butcher's son go below him. You had Shock was less than him. You had Cool Sam only $1, Ragenstein only 5, and Brick at 7. So yeah, I could see overpayment there that wise. I agree with the C-Dub comments you made as well. A lot of people think he's overpaid just because he's a part-timer and that amount. But yes, I agree. If he went full-time, I wouldn't be surprised he went at 35 or even 40 bots on here. And also, just like Dom Silva, he plays multiple. You could draft him as a defenseman or as a forward on here, and it will work out. So yeah, he was definitely on a lot of people's draft pool. Probably one of the top next to Izzy as far as talent wise. But he plays multiple positions, so that made him a lot more interest with the captains.
You go to the dollar menu deals. We have John Muckey at 1 for $1, Sniper at 1, Cool Sam at 1, Panarantino at 1, and X Dangles X10. X Dangles don't know a lot about. Panarantino at 1 is great. Cool Sam at 1, I think Kelch was kind of talking him up. At 1 was an absolute steal, apparently. Sniper at 1, another guy who can kind of play whatever role you need him to be. He's someone that will listen to you as a captain. He will fill in wherever you need him to fill in and do whatever it is you need to do. John Muckey at 1, same exact thing. That's an absolute steal. Highest paid rookie, we already went over this with Levians or Levins, however you say his name, at 40. Huge amount. Rapid Calf 28. Need to see how he performs. Cougar Hunter 26. I think that's exactly where he should be at. XX or X88 X Kane 26. I heard he's really solid. That's up there. Bear to Just. I heard great things about it too. At 10. So if he's just as good as the number is supposed to be said, he'll actually underperform from what I've heard about him. So we'll see where that's going to be at. The highest paid part timers: C-Dub at 23, Civic Poe at 16, Finney at 16, Hugh Laurie at 15, Rondon Valentine at 11. Finney is on the higher part. Again, with how Float's roster worked out, this is fine. Finney, I believe, is towards the beginning of the auction draft, too. Civic Poe, 16 with Johnny Kling, going to have to prove it. C-Dub still has to prove the 23 as well. Hugh Laurie, if he gets a chance to go in, prove the 15. Again, even though it's trolls. Rondon, 11. I know that's just because we're starting to get down to the numbers of where other full-timers couldn't really be taken at value. Rondon should have been more, so either way, doesn't matter. On to the highest paid goalie, we have B. Cripps at 30. Absolutely worth it. Bills 39 at 27. I think it's right there around it with where the Lime should be. And then Superstar at 19. I think Superstar maybe should have went for a little bit more. Sir Puffington's right around there, and I think that's pretty solid. Highest paid defenseman, we have D-Mart at 41. Worth it. Hall of Fame 32 bods. Worth it. Bomber at 31 bods. I've heard that's worth it. Rapid Calf at 28 bods. Going to have to prove it to me. Epic at 27 bods. I thought he was playing forward this season, so this may be a mistype or this may just be misinformation that I've got. But at 27 bods for Epic, I think that's all right with his offensive capabilities and his two-way gameplay. I think he has what it takes. So even if he's playing defense, I think that still works.
Yeah, I think you're right. Epic, generally a defenseman in this league. He did play forward last season, won a cup. He has both offense and defense on his sign-up sheet, but I think the team that he's playing for now with the players around there, he will be playing forward, would be the right call on there.
Highest paid forward. Okay, Flanny had to give me 10 names. MASH at number 1 at 47. We'll kind of put C-Dub up in there as well because of the part-time to go to full-time evaluation, up to 46. Both of them worth their 45, 46 evaluations. SBDR at 42, worth it. Mr. Anderson, 41, definitely worth it. Levians or Levins, 40, going to have to prove it to me. Sauce Walker at 38, I feel he's going to have a little something to prove. Power Kill at 37, pretty much around that value. Surprise me at 36, you're getting the Rocket Richard winner that's won multiple seasons in a row, multiple seasons over all the seasons he's played in 239. I think it's worth it. You got Toxac or Schwartz at 34, worth it. Ozzy at 30, I think is overpaid. But Ozzy's also got the skill set for this game, so we'll see that if he can earn that 30 bod rating. K-Dog at 29. K-Dog's got to just show me. I'm sure you guys already know him. He's just got to show me he's worth the 29. But once you go to about 30 and under, you have a little less proving or a little less to prove. Once you're 30 and over, you're expected to be that guy. So that'll be interesting to see.
Now, there's been a couple trades, couple moves, adds, and drops already here in the preseason before a single game here took place. Let's take a look at some of the moves here, some drops. Joe Stowe being picked up off the waivers as a undrafted player. You gotta love it.
So let's break down the transactions real quickly for the first week. First, we see Cobra Kai Puckers receive Joey Stope on 1 bod. I'm happy Joe Stope got picked up. Wash now picks up Gala for 2 bods. And then we're going to see the Dailies Wet Noodles add black and gold, but drops BC Rent and Quantanium. This is where I was trying to refer to as earlier. Winter is Coming adds Headless Frangu and drops Death Mall. And then Washed adds Joey Stopa and drops Beer Captain. So that is, they're pickups that are preseason pickups. I'm happy to see Joe still get on a team. I think captains sometimes jump the gun a little too early, adding and dropping people. I think from experience of captaining myself, I think it's important not to make moves too early. And then I think it's also important to being on other teams and seeing how other captains react. It's very important not to make trades too early in your season unless it's an absolute bombshell of a death threat that it cannot work.
Yeah, what's interesting to see on these ad drops, Deathmall 2 seasons in a row where he's been drafted on a team and then let go to the waivers before the season even begins. Great to see Joe Stowe being picked up off the waivers. There now he's got to prove that he belongs. Yambak picking up black and gold. I think a guy that should have been drafted this season. He does drop BC Retton, which is a great pickup. Any team looking for a defenseman, part timer. Great guy there now on the waivers. I think maybe Yambak or Bear is playing defense now, so he doesn't need that defensive guy. Should work out for him as well.
All right, lastly, we have the power rankings here for you guys, season 17. These are Jim Flanagan's personal top 12 here, without any games here, just going based off the draft now. Cortez, I know you disagree with some of these, but we're going to show them. Let's roll it. Power rankings here, season 17. Why not?
So we'll go through Mr. Jim Flanagan, a.k.a. Hollywood's power rankings. Not sure if he utilized some other media members for this or not. This is not my power rankings in any way, but we'll break this right down. Number 1, we have the Ice Frogs. Number 2, we got the Classic Hits. Number 3, Sims. Number 4, we got the Boondog Saints. Number 5, Orange Sus. Number 6, High Expectations. Number 7, Krobakai. Number 8, Those Guys. And number 9, we have the Wet Noodles. Number 10, Crosby, Niels for Malkin. Number 11, Washed. And number 12, Winter's Coming. I think anybody who makes the power rankings where Sims isn't in first place is out of their mind. But we'll see where that's going from there.
All right. Let me explain this here. The power rankings here. Let me start from the bottom, going up. Number 12, Winter's Coming. Kurd Dog, the captain there. I think a lot of people, including me, questioning why he drafted another goalie when he is a goalie. Definitely a questionable move on his part. And also, the defense on here is questionable. Are they going to be able to get the puck in time or get the lead out pass there to the forwards? Plus, didn't Dangles and Nabuch play for Swag last season? I don't think that worked out very well. Moving to number 11, I got Washed. This team might be washed. Just a lot of preseason moves here already, doing the trades, doing some adds and drops, usually a sign of concern or something's not going right. When your highest paid is both a rookie and your goaltender, you know. Plus, I think Hergs just needs to stay out of that penalty box here this season, and then they maybe move up on the ranks here a bit. Number 10, Crosby, Niels for Malkin, going 40 on a rookie center, and then having Dalman Winger there, and plus goalie Yin playing on D here, first time this season. Brings up a red flag here for me. That's why I got him at number 10. Number 9, Yam's team now. I was going to move this team up, but because of Yam's prior history with the dump fire teams, but this team could definitely go up into the playoff spot, depending the size of SBDR's backpack here, especially if Fiegel's playing defense here for them. I think it's going to make or break this team if they make it into the playoff spot. At number 8, I got Those Guys, Cabaret. Solid team here, but I think the D is suspect here. And he also, we need to see K-Dog at 29 bots live up to that amount. If he does, then great. I think it'll be, move them up in the rankings here. He did have a great steal pick with Shock and Net. Worked out for him. So number 7, Cobra Kai. And I think it all depends here how well Brick plays. And for me, I also like Odd playing D. He's playing forward here. That's why I got him down here on number 7. Number 6, high expectations. Now, I think this team could be a 3 or 4. Great steal pick with, I think, Rob late in the draft here. But availability could be questionable. So, depending. If Rob plays in Nets here, that allows Epic to play forward. Otherwise, Epic will need to play D here. And then Sniper would be the guy that would need to step his game up, show that he's not that dollar menu guy. At number 5, Orange Sauce. Going 41 on Ando, and not having Anderson play forward, he's going to be playing D here. I think this team could struggle scoring on here. Plus, the other defenseman here is kind of questionable to me. Plus, how good Puff does. Last season he did have a solid team with Barrett, with Dolly, Sidu. Need to be step his game up here, prove that he's back into the top 5 goalies here in this league. At number 4, Boondock Saints, led by Master Shotgun. Great goaltender there. They could definitely be a 1 or 2. Surprised me at a great price here, 36. Who's not even a top 5 most paid forward. I see him as a top 3 in this league. John Monkey was definitely a steal here. And I thought Phoenix had a solid season last season. So if you could bring that momentum here this season here, they could definitely move up. Now the top 3 here could move around. I put Sips here, led by Float. A lot of people, yes, have these guys at number 1, which they very well could be. But what I question here, for me, if I was a captain, it's a lot to manage a team like this with 10-man roster and most of your guys being part-time. But maybe they do. You look at this team, you look at the paper. Yes, I could put an all-star squad on here if they're all available on there. But then other nights, maybe not so. And I think Knife and both Dangles will get a lot of playing time on here just because of the part-time availability. Croydon nights availability is very questionable. So that's something to think about on here. That's why I got him at number 3. But hey, maybe he works things out and this part-time thing works out for them. And then this definitely team will be a force. I mean, the guys on this roster are just, it's crazy. Definitely an all-star squad. Number 2, I got Young Kelch. I was going to put this team number 1. They very well could be. Like I said, the top 3 could be moved around, but I really like Kelch's draft here. There's one thing you can't deny on. Kelch in the draft pool, yes, he's been drafted first round. He's been traded around a lot, but when he's a captain, he won the cup, man. He won the belt here, and now he's a captain again, and he did a great job. I think his draft here, there's very little or no holes at all, and especially if he's saying this goaltender is the real deal here. He's got a great squad. Now, different to Float, yes, he's also got a 10-man roster, but himself is full-time. Toxic, his winger there, is full-time. Kane, his defenseman, is full-time, along with the goalie. So he's only got 2, I think his center and his lefty, that are part-timers that will be switching in and out. So it's not as much as Float's team where most of the starters are part-time. I really like this team. Like I said, I think he could definitely take it here this season and be a 2-time captain champ. And then number 1, I give it to Young Buff. I think Young Buff had a solid draft here. I really don't see any weakness here besides maybe goaltending. I mean, Butcher Son didn't have a great season last season, but with the guys he's going to have here this season, it's hard not to. I mean, he's got Guyneman, Hall of Fame on D, and then he's also got Young Buffalo playing center, who also plays back on D. The only thing on here, maybe you could say, who's gonna drive the puck there? Saul Swalka, a guy that's sometimes criticized on that. Young Buff really, plays more of the back defensive style. Hugh Laurie's definitely not gonna drive the puck, so we'll see. I mean, he's also got BLK there if he needs improvement in the goaltender spot. So this team is solid, I think, all around, and we'll see. We'll see what happens here for season 17. That's the power rankings.
I think this is going to be really cool. We're going to try to bring out a lot of media to you guys this season. I know it's said every season. It really comes down to if Flanny has the time to put the stuff together and if I have the time to record it. And as long as you guys are able to record your content with your Xbox DVR. When you are playing in a series, I don't care if it's being streamed, press your middle button on your controller and press X. That'll record the last 30 seconds of content that you just did or whatever you have it preset to, and it will go to xboxdvr.com and it will be under your gamer tag. Go to your gamer tag, go to video clips, find that video clip, and link it, whether it's in a submission folder, whether it's straight to Flanny, whether it's in a forum in the 239 Discord, wherever it may be. Do that. That's why content isn't done, is because I'm going to be straightforward. You guys are lazy. You guys don't do your parts. We're not going to go through streams. We're not going to sit there and do every little thing for you. The admins have already been nice enough to find people to do stats for captains because they're too lazy to do something that takes 5 minutes. I'm telling you right now, I'm not busting my ass for a league to do content if they are too lazy to record it, let alone submit it. And I hope Flanny continues to keep up the good work with all the shit he always does, but he gets aired out and tired out and just dried up because everybody gets lazy on their end. Help him out a little bit. Help me out. Let's help the league out. Let's do our thing. So thank you guys for tuning in for this week 1 preseason power rankings with the team updates and rosters and the bod values and whatnot. We can't wait to see what week 1 brings. Good luck to everybody in season 17. And remember, play your best game, communicate with your teammates, make good passes, be in position, and good things will happen. So we will see you guys in the next video, and good luck in season 17.
All right, that does it here for the Flan Fan Show. I hope you guys like this show. We'll be coming to you guys every week. We'll have the leaderboards, top scorers, the power rankings updated, rankings on that, and a whole lot more players of the week, So look for that. And the season starts tonight, and the first ever series recap video also will take place, where we're going to take a series that is being streamed live on Twitch, and we'll do a series highlight recap video, as well as give you the scores from the other games going on, and an added feature here this season where we're gonna pick the 3 stars of each night as well. So look for that. I want to just good luck to all the teams here, season 17. Hope you guys have fun on here, and a lot more media, a lot more footage, stats, all that coming your way here as we kick off season 17 tonight.